Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. And if you have noticed that there is a visual change or that their audio is a little bit worse than usual, that is because today we're doing today's episode a little bit different, and today we are doing webcam style. And the reason for that is because I am talking about. I'm still waking up here, and I was totally not ready to film, but I have a time limit, so we're doing it. We're in the thick of it. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about, you know what the title is, Game Informer. And Game Informer is there's a fucking hair right there. It is. Got it. This is why we should prep before we start recording. Game Informer is a magazine that has been going on for a number of years now, and they recently, as of the time I am recording this, just celebrated their 300th issue. And that made me really want to kind of like reflect on what this magazine has meant to me over the years, maybe talk about some memories, and just like why I am still getting these giant amount of magazines, which I'm still getting in the mail today. That is my Game Informer collection, if you want to call it that. And it's not even a collection really, and I'm gonna get this off of my lap because it's kind of heavy. And I'm just gonna pick through these as I go. But Game Informer, like as a magazine, I know a lot of people don't like. I know like there's people online who diss it all the time, and people who make fun of their out of 10 scale, like, and do all these things. And I understand that, and some people are just against magazines in general because it's a dying medium. But me, growing up, magazines kind of always fascinated me because I got these over here, like, that I was getting in the mail as a kid. Like, they're WWE magazines. And ever since that, I've always kind of had a fascination with magazines because magazines really covered what I loved back before I could have it. You know me, I love reviews, I love analysis, I love talking about the things, the art forms that I am currently into. And back then, I didn't have the internet, I didn't have YouTubers, I didn't have websites, I didn't have communities. And so, back then, I had like a couple Game Informers lying around. They would look like, this back then. Um, and some of these I have, like these ones, like Uncharted 1 prototype. Some of these I actually found in a thrift store, like they just give them away. And some of them, there's like a couple, like there's like one or two, like this one, which you can see the back is torn off, and they're like in the back because I don't know what issue it is, because I actually got this one in my art class because we were doing things with like newspapers and magazines, and like I saw like a couple Game Informers there that like hadn't gotten like that torn up, like no one, like, you know, there's a couple like this page that just people just cut out of it, and I was like, okay, so I could just take this home and like love it and put it in part of a collection, or I could leave it here to get torn to shreds. So I stole that shit from my art class, and I don't think anyone would be upset by that. Anyway, but the way Game Informer used to look, you know, I probably wouldn't keep my subscription or keep collecting them if they look like this. They used to have like a bunch of shit all over the cover, and the back is a fucking advertisement, a fucking Old Spice advertisement. Which, you know, that's not ideal for me. The reason I like Game Informers and still keep getting them, because nowadays, like, I don't need that benefit that I used to have. Back then, before I had internet, it was like kind of my way to get reviews. It was my way to like, because, you know, I love reading and writing, so it was like, oh, reviews, reading and writing, you know, and then I get to discover all these games, and I get to kind of contextualize like this world of gaming going on around me, and scores and all that shit. Like, why wouldn't I want Game Informers back then? But as time has gone on, you know, I don't really need those things anymore because the internet provides all that for me. But nowadays, Game Informer looks like this, and then you open it up. I'm gonna hide this address right here, and it's like, oh, it's like every issue is like a piece of art, kinda. Like it's very, it's all sexy, as I would like to put it. I took that. These are all in order, and I just ruined the order. Okay. So like, here's another issue. They all like kind of have like this like double-sided, like you could hang these up in your house because like a lot of these look really sexy. And I remember there was a couple issues like God, it's way down there, isn't it? I'm just gonna talk about it. There's two issues that like I was like, okay, I have to have those because you know, I didn't have a subscription for these as a kid. Like, I just remember we had a bunch lying around, so I don't know if we just were getting them in the mail for a short period of time. I just remember having them in the house. And, you know, I read the shit out of all of those. And as time went on, you know, back when I moved and I was finally able to go to GameStop, I was like, oh, Game Informers. I didn't even know they had, like, this... Like, the way Game Informer is set up, they have, like... And this might be another reason why people don't like Game Informer, is that they are kind of tied to GameStop. Like, if you get a GameStop Pro membership, whatever the fuck it is, then you get a Game Informer subscription. And GameStop is obviously kind of like an evil corporation that has, like... It's not for the benefit of gamers, like, but I don't expect any company to be for the benefit of the consumer over money. Like, I don't expect that. Like, even Game Informer or anything... Don't expect that. So when people make those arguments, I'm just kind of like, it's a company, bro. It's a $1 million company. They're not gonna give a shit about your stickers on the game covers. But as far as Game Informer went, I saw like the issues for Mass Effect 3 and the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, and I was like, I gotta buy those because I was like, not only did I want to read the shit out of them, the covers were so sexy, and I was just like, ugh. And I have those, and they're really fucking beat up now because I read the shit out of those two issues. But ever since then, I've kind of been on and off with Game Informer, where like every once in a while, they'll remind me to like get my GameStop, whatever the fuck it is, that I'll save like $10 a year probably. And I'll spend however much money, and because I don't even use GameStop really, but I'll get the pro membership things because it'll give me the monthly subscriptions, and I enjoy these. Like, these are great coffee table, like as I'm waiting for like 10 minutes to pass, like, oh, just pick this up, be like, oh, look at all these. And every month I'll try to read, because the way Game Informer is set up, they have so many like monthly like things. The editor-in-chief, Andy, literally every issue starts off with him just breaking down like his thoughts, and it's kind of like this little, it's like a little morning prep, or a little prep thing before you dive into the magazine itself. Every month they have fan art. Every month they have like pictures of them meeting with actual people in the industry, and like they'll have like cool things like, oh, here's 40 years of gaming. It's like, oh, every year a different thing. Then they'll obviously have things for upcoming games. They'll have like a top 10 list every month. And then they'll have their fucking reviews. And the reviews don't make any sense. A 7 out of 10 is average. So people criticize Game Informer because literally, if your 7 out of 10 is average, like for me 5 out of 10 is average, that means like everything is going to be graded highly. And if you look at them, everything they've graded highly, 9.5. 9.25, 6.5, 6.5. So like, these games don't even look below average. 9, 8.25, 8, 8.5, 8. Like, I don't think they go below 7 out of 10 all that much. And that's just, like, why would you rate, like, that always confused me as a kid and growing up, because I would, like, I'd be like, I would think Game Informer, like, has the correct reviewing scale, but then every other website or thing like that, like, it's like, okay, they're not going by 7 out of 10. What's average? I was really confused with that growing up. Like, I was like, does everyone do that? Like, wouldn't 5 out of 10 be like like, to me, average is like the middle. Like, there is shit, average, and like amazing, and everything in between. But maybe that's just me. At the end of the day, it's your fucking rating scale. You can do whatever you want with it. It's just like, it seems like very counterintuitive to me. But with these things, because, you know, nowadays they provide like an aesthetic appeal. They provide like a kind of way to like remind myself that magazines are actually like a really cool art medium. And the reason like I probably wouldn't subscribe to any other magazines is because, one, I don't have any like feeling, I don't have any growing up like, oh, that's why I like that magazine for any of these. I don't have any, like, and no magazine matches the aesthetic, matches like me growing up with it, or like things that I'm interested in. And I honestly don't see that many magazines that are like also like, I'll see a couple in stores that are like, oh, these are cool, but then I'll flip through and I'm just kind of like, okay, I couldn't have like a monthly subscription for this. If you guys know any that are like actually worth having, like, because this is kind of like a collection now, because like I can just look at these. I have like at least like I want to say like 100, maybe 100, between maybe 100 and 125. So like that's like almost 1/3. No, that is like 1/3 of all the ones they've ever done. So like that's a real collection. Like, I don't have any. What's my earliest one? My earliest one is 150, which is Metal Gear Solid 4. So I obviously like kind of would like to complete that collection one day. You know, I'm not hustling because I'm not reading through these anymore. But I am kind of like adding to the collection all the time. But I haven't like gone on eBay and hunted down like the issues like in between that I've lost over the years, or like the ones that I've like never seen before. That would be kind of a cool thing to do one day. Have like a Game Informer hunt, like that would be really cool. But at the same time, they're magazines. Like, I don't really want to waste money and energy on magazines, because magazines are kind of like digestive content. Like, it's kind of like it's like YouTube. It's a digestive fluid for other mediums. YouTube, like, in the same manner, like, it's a medium to bounce off of other mediums. Most of the time, anyway. There's obviously some very cool stuff going on with this site, but most people are using it to reflect on other things. And Game Informer and magazines kind of do the same thing for me. There's not that many magazines that are like, oh, that magazine, like, that's creating its own thing. But yeah. Anyway, that's kind of just like my 2 cents on Game Informer and why I still am subscribed to this website. You know, it doesn't cost that much at all. Like, it's actually a pretty fucking, like, I think it's like, I don't even know. Like, for very cheap, you get all these magazines, and if you want to buy an issue, it's like, I think $8 or $9. It's an easy magazine to get into, and it's an easy magazine to, like, just flip through, get, like, your 2 cents, get, like, oh, what did they rate this game? Oh, cool. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Game Informer, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning with another episode of Good Morning Soul, where you won't have to see my ugly face again. And thank you for watching, and with that, I leave you.